Cold traffic, it lacks money, sure, but way more importantly, it lacks belief. So what is the methodical, step-by-step system that can escalate a total stranger's emotional commitment and convert all that skepticism into a purchase, long before the price tag is ever even on the table? Well, today, we're going to deconstruct that exact system. It's a powerful, strategic blueprint, and it's designed to manage the single most crucial element of any sale, belief itself. And that question right there, it reveals the big paradox of modern conversion, doesn't it? We're all taught to lead with features and benefits and price, but that whole approach, it completely misses where the real battle is happening, inside the customer's mind. The actual barrier isn't the price tag. It's this deep-seated, often unspoken lack of belief. So here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll define the belief paradox. Then we'll look at how you can actually automate trust in a world that's more skeptical than ever. We'll really unpack the engine of this system, the 4-step ascent, and explore the psychology behind the yes that powers the whole thing. And finally, we'll lay out a blueprint for mastery and land on the core idea. Belief is always, always the first step. So let's dive right in with the fundamental challenge this entire system was built to solve, the belief paradox. This is the simple but powerful idea that the biggest thing standing in the way of a sale, it's not the price, it's not the features, it is a gap in belief. This really gets to the heart of it. We're not dealing with some logical, spreadsheet-based decision here. It's emotional. Your potential customer, they don't show up with a checklist. They show up with a whole history of doubts and fears and skepticism. And you can't just throw a bunch of information at that and hope for the best. No. Belief has to be built systematically in these carefully constructed layers. Each layer is designed to solve a very specific doubt, creating this structured climb towards a final commitment. Okay, so if belief is the problem, how in the world do you solve it at scale? Well, that brings us to our next idea, automating trust. You see, this system, it wasn't just born in a vacuum. It was forged in an age of really high consumer skepticism. I mean, think about it. We are just bombarded with thousands of marketing messages every single day. Our default setting is no, our natural response is cynicism. So the old methods, the direct salesmanship stuff, it just doesn't scale in the digital world. The crisis was pretty clear. How do you replicate the delicate process of building human trust, but do it through an automated system? How do you make a complete stranger feel understood, hopeful, and confident without ever even speaking to them directly? And the answer, it turns out, wasn't found in marketing, but in psychology. Specifically in the incredible work of Dr. Robert Cialdini and his principle of commitment and consistency. This is an absolute cornerstone of human behavior. It's wild. Once we say yes to something small, even just agreeing with a statement, our brain feels this internal pressure to stay consistent. We want our future actions to line up with our past commitments. It helps us maintain a coherent self-image. It's just an incredibly powerful drive that's built right into us. And that is the solution, the desire ladder. It essentially codifies Cialdini's principle into a marketing framework. It's a system that's designed to get a series of these small, non-monetary yeses from a prospect. Each yes is a tiny little commitment, another step up the ladder. And by conquering these psychological stages in the right sequence, that final purchase, well, it feels less like a big, daunting leap and more like the only logical, consistent next step to take. Okay, let's open up the engine. This is the core mechanism of the desire ladder, the 4-step ascent. This is the precise journey we guide every single prospect on, and trust me, skipping a step breaks the entire system. And here they are. Acknowledge pain, establish possibility, demonstrate mechanism, and then, and only then, create urgency. Now, this sequence is not arbitrary at all. It's a psychological pathway, and it's designed to dismantle skepticism piece by piece. Each step builds directly on the commitment you secured in the previous one. So, let's break them down. It all starts with pain. It has to. Before you can even dream of offering a solution, you have to prove you understand the problem. So the very first commitment you ask for is simply their attention. And you earn it not by talking about yourself, but by talking about them. By describing their struggles so accurately, so vividly, that they think, wow, finally someone actually gets it. That validation, that's the entry ticket. It secures the first crucial yes. Yes, you understand me. Okay, so after you validated their pain, you have to confront their biggest fear, that their situation is permanent. See, most people don't just doubt your product, they doubt themselves. They secretly believe that failure is inevitable for them. Your job in step 2 is to absolutely shatter that belief. And you do this with proof. case studies, testimonials, success stories from people just like them. The goal here is to make them think, if it worked for them, maybe, just maybe, it could work for me too. This is the core belief shift. This is where you secure the second yes. Yes, I believe a better outcome is actually possible. So once they believe a better outcome is possible, a new question immediately pops into their head. Okay, I'm starting to believe, but how? How does it actually work? And this is where you introduce your solution as the vehicle that makes that new possibility a reality. You're moving from the what if of step 2 to the this is how. This step is all about transparency. Demos, walkthroughs, technical explanations. You are demystifying your solution and showing them the clear path from point A to point B. And this secures the third yes. Yes, I believe your solution is the way. And only now, only after they've agreed that you understand them, that a better future is possible, and that your solution is the way to get there, only then do you introduce urgency. This is the final nudge. Things like scarcity or deadlines, they leverage all of that psychological momentum you've built up. The fear of missing out finally becomes greater than the fear of acting. This isn't some high-pressure tactic. It's the final logical step that converts all that belief into action. So we've seen the 4 steps. Now let's go a little deeper and explore why this sequence is so incredibly effective. It's because it's designed to speak directly to the deep, unspoken psychological drivers behind every single purchasing decision. It's really all about engineering the yes. This reveals the truth behind almost every objection you'll ever hear. When a customer says it's too expensive, what they often mean is, I'm afraid it won't deliver enough value for me to justify the cost. When they say, I don't have time, the real fear hiding underneath is often, I'm afraid I will fail and I don't have time to waste on something I'll just fail at anyway. You see? Price and time, they're just logical masks for a much deeper emotional fear of personal failure. The desire ladder is designed to solve for that real no. And this brings us to the core psychological target of the whole system, something called self-efficacy. All it means is a person's belief in their own ability to succeed. It's them asking that critical question, okay, but will this work for me? This is so often the single biggest barrier to a sale, and step 2 of the desire ladder, establish possibility, is engineered specifically to build it. By showing relatable success stories, you directly increase their self-efficacy. You make them believe not just that the solution works, but that it will work for them. And here is where it all just clicks together beautifully. Each step up that ladder. Yes, you get my pain. Yes, success is possible. Yes, your mechanism works, is a micro commitment. And thanks to Cialdini's principle, with each little yes, the psychological pressure to remain consistent just grows and grows. By the time you make the final offer, saying no would actually create cognitive dissonance. It would contradict this whole series of beliefs they've just adopted. The purchase becomes the only way to stay consistent with the journey they've already decided to take. Okay, we understand the theory, we get the psychology, now let's put it to work. How do you actually implement the stuff? Well, these are the non-negotiable rules for mastering the desire ladder. Let's walk through these, because this is where the strategy really becomes execution. First, you have to isolate the belief gap. You must know the single biggest doubt that's stopping your customer. And be specific. Is it, I'm just not tech savvy enough? Or maybe I've tried things just like this before and failed? Whatever it is, all of your step 2 content, every single case study, every testimonial must be like a direct missile aimed at destroying that one specific doubt. Second, sequence content to the step. This takes discipline. A testimonial's job is to build possibility in step 2. A product demo's job is to explain the mechanism in step 3. Don't use a demo to prove something is possible. It's the wrong tool for the job. You have to match the content to the step to make sure each belief is conquered effectively. And finally, and this one is so important, reserve urgency for the peak. Introducing scarcity or deadlines too early, it just feels like sleazy pressure and it completely breaks trust. It only works when it's that final push after all the heavy lifting of building belief and trust is totally complete. And this brings us right to our conclusion, to the ultimate insight that underpins this entire framework. If you take just one thing away from this explainer today, please let it be this. At the end of the day, we have to stop thinking like we're just selling a product. We are in the business of manufacturing belief. Real sustainable growth, it doesn't come from a new ad platform or some clever headline. It comes from having a reliable, repeatable system for taking a skeptical human being and guiding them step by step to a state of absolute conviction. The true currency of conversion, it isn't information, it's belief. And that, right there, is the essence of the desire ladder. It's not about pushing people through some funnel, it's a process of pulling them toward value, one rung at a time. And it works because it respects the psychology of the buyer. It understands that before you can ever ask for their money, you must first earn their belief.